The rain hadn't stopped for hours. Each drop hit the cracked pavement like a ticking clock, reminding me how late it was, how far I'd fallen behind. By the time I reached the old wooden door at the edge of Maple Street, the streetlights were flickering, and my hands were trembling, not from the cold, but from everything I'd been holding back. I knocked. Once. Twice. The sound echoed in the dark. Then, after what felt like forever, the door creaked open, and there she was, Mrs. Evelyn Harper. My mother's oldest friend. Her silver hair glowed in the dim porch light, and her eyes, still sharp despite her years, studied me quietly before she finally said, "You're late, but not too late." Her voice broke something inside me. 6 years had passed since I last saw her. 6 years since I'd stormed out of this very town, shouting words I could never take back. My mother had begged me to stay that night, said I'd regret leaving without fixing things. But pride is a cruel companion, it follows you everywhere, and it doesn't let you knock until midnight. "I didn't think you'd open the door," I said, my voice barely a whisper. She smiled faintly. "Your mother would have opened it. So I did it for her." Her words hit harder than the cold wind. My mother had passed 2 months ago. I hadn't been there, not at her bedside, not at her funeral. Work. Distance. Excuses. They all blended into one ugly truth: I couldn't face what I'd done. Mrs. Harper stepped aside, letting me in. The house smelled the same, lavender and old wood. On the wall, framed photos of my childhood stared back at me, frozen in time. My mother's smile was everywhere, reminding me of what I'd lost. "I packed up her things," Mrs. Harper said softly. "She left something for you." She led me to a small table by the window. There, under a dim lamp, was an old tin box. I opened it slowly. Inside was a stack of letters, each one with my name written in her familiar handwriting. The first one read, "For when you finally come home." I sat down, heart pounding, and began to read. Her words were simple but full of warmth. She wrote about the little things, the garden I used to help her with, the pies she baked every Sunday, how she'd watch the door every evening hoping I'd walk in. But in her last letter, her tone changed. "If you ever come back after I'm gone, promise me you'll forgive yourself. Don't let guilt keep you from living. Love doesn't keep score, it waits, even past midnight." Tears blurred the ink. For the first time in years, I let myself cry, not out of shame, but out of release. Mrs. Harper sat quietly beside me. When I finished reading, she handed me a folded piece of paper. She wrote that one the night before she passed, she said gently. I opened it with shaking hands. "Give the world the kindness you couldn't give me then. That's how you'll come home again." I looked up at Mrs. Harper, unable to speak. She placed her hand over mine. "You can start tonight," she said. That night, I stayed with her until dawn, helping her fix the old fence, making coffee, sharing stories about my mother. When I finally stepped outside, the rain had stopped, and the first light of morning brushed across the horizon. As I walked down Maple Street, I passed a young man sitting by the curb, soaked, shivering, and clearly lost. He asked if I knew where he could find shelter. For a moment, I saw myself in him, the same brokenness, the same loneliness. I smiled. "Come with me," I said. "You're late, but not too late." Moral. It's never too late to make things right, to forgive, to love, or to start over. Sometimes the smallest knock past midnight can open the door to a new beginning.